property owners to say they don't want the district. My understanding is we had 400, I'm going by memory here, but I think it's right, 459 out of 1877 votes, or about 24.45% saying no. We would need 11 more votes, not 10, 11 more votes to cross the 25% threshold. 10 more votes puts it 24.98 or something like that. So that's where we are. Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
If you would please tell us what you think.
Well,
You only got a couple. Go ahead, sir.
About the other thing or this one? Well, you know, I had an opportunity to be present when she was doing all the recounts and everything, and followed almost on a every hourly basis when she was doing the recounts here at the courthouse, and she came in and did that. The problem I thought about, and the thing I had a question about, was the fact that when she left here, it was one way, and Sue can tell you, and when we got the final results, it was a different way. So the change was made from the time she left here, the outfit, the auditors, until they, and I wasn't real clear about the changes, and I thought it would have been real nice if she could have explained that to us, the one she picked up. There was an additional change in some more properties they found, and that made a little bit of difference, but it's a question of trust, and you had your trust in the auditors, and they made the decision, they did the count, so they're the ones that decided that.
So the count stands in?
Insofar as we're concerned, it stands, yes.
All right. I believe we have sort of three separate issues to consider here. One is, Mr. Rivera, I appreciate your help reminding me on this. Is there a need to certify the petition at the initial voting process that's complete, or did we essentially do that at the last meeting?
We accepted that petition a couple meetings back, I believe.
Okay.
I think that a certification that the threshold was not met, and that board puts it in your hands.
Yes. So we have that aspect to consider. Before a motion is made to accept that certification is complete, just want to see if there's any further questions or discussion on that initial 25% vote issue.
Were there any changes to be proposed in regard to the changes on the petition or anything?
Changes in what, sorry?
In the petition, you had made a recommendation of some sort, I think, in some of the letters we received today about things that would be done in relation to the group when they got together.
Would you like me to go into that?
Expound on that, because I'm sure a lot of people don't know that.
I'm looking for space. I received a phone call today from a gentleman that was a property owner at Snowshoe, and he was kind of disappointed in the commission and potentially the advisors from Snowshoe's in as to when we made the decision at the second meeting that when that meeting was closed, the letters and the votes was ended at that point. And he seemed to insinuate, I'm assuming from Snowshoe's standpoint, when you all mailed the letters, that it was under the understanding that as long as the letter was mailed back that day, it would be counted. And he insinuated to me that there were several letters or petitions that were sent back in that was postmarked for that day but was not received until later and was thrown out. And I don't know if that's factual or not.
So, Mr. Walker, I can pull up the notice, but the language of the notice said that that you have the opportunity to protest at or before the public meeting held to discuss the merits of the district.
I remember we read that out loud. You read it out loud to us last time this question came up. So
I
is it
guess
postmarked or is it here?
I guess the confusion was, is it postmarked for that day if you're not a resident of Pocahontas County and you're mailing it in from another state or another country?
I had a question about that. I didn't think that postmarked things were going to apply.
Correct.
Because I think the way the statute, the law provided, was that it was the percentage at that meeting, and I think it would, like he said, probably the ones that are at that meeting, and that was it. The additional ones I don't think could come in. I think legally that.
You went to the post office during the meeting to check for any that came in during the meeting.
Well, I realize that's the decision we made, but he insinuated that that was not the way it was put across to the petitioners.
Well,
and I don't know why they got a different opinion of that.
I honestly, I mean, I believe the statute's pretty clear because it does say, you know, you have the opportunity to present to the commission at or before the public meeting. And to say that, well, you know, I didn't get it in the mail until the day before, it doesn't, there's nothing in here providing for, you know, postmark notifications or anything like that. I think it's pretty clear that you have to present your petition or your, you know.
Well, I guess the question I would like to have answered at this point is there a record of how many petitions or letters come in after the deadline?
I don't know that question. I would have to ask the auditors that question. I couldn't answer the question. I don't know if Mr. Simmons knows or not.
We received, she didn't tell us anything about any others, no.
I don't know the answer.
I feel that's the correct interpretation too of the statute. Even if some were received after the meeting, it's academic. The vote was counted at the meeting. Mr. Simmons looked through it, found this is acceptable. It's very close, very close. Before we take questions from the public, Mr. Tate, I just want to try to understand again what it is we would have to do now, what actions are possible. And my thinking is that I don't know if we need to make a motion or whatever to say that the 25% issue is complete. We could do that just for the record to say that, but I think we're already saying that. We're saying that 24.45% was what was reached, it wasn't 25%.
I don't believe the statute requires you to actually start looking into that.
Other issues in front of us are the idea of dissolution or shuttering, if you will, of the RAD activities. Mr. Rivera, you told us that you proposed some language to us. I think it reads well as 50%. Well, I'll let you tell us again if you remember the language of that.
I'll read it.
I may have it here too.
Pursuant to Section 8P of the Act, the Resort Area District may adopt bylaws not inconsistent with the law. As a condition of Commission approval, the petitioners for the creation of Snowshoe RAD hereby undertake to include provision in the Snowshoe RAD bylaws to call for voluntary cessation of all operations of the Snowshoe RAD upon a petition of the board of the Snowshoe RAD by more than 50% of the owners of real property included within the boundaries of the Snowshoe RAD.
Okay. Another aspect was the idea of homeowner districts. And we have the opportunity as a commission to amend, if we wanted to, the idea of having the homeowner districts be broken up into, well, there is no homeowner district. It's just all homeowners. If we felt there was a need to guarantee representation for the 3 homeowner board seats from, say, 3 different districts within the homeowner community, we could put that language into a motion to approve it too, if we wanted to do. And you have no objection to that. In fact, you said that you don't think it's your position to have a position on that.
That's what I said. I haven't proposed any language to that effect. I believe that that's a decision that the homeowners should make in electing the board will create the bylaw. That's how I feel. But with that said, the commission felt that that was the right way to approve, but it's not something I would object to.
Well, I think similar format to what we did with the pipeline issue. I'll ask Mr. Beer, Mr. Walker, if we have any questions for you about this, and then I want to give a chance for members of the public here to ask questions and express their concerns. And Mr. Beer, Mr. Walker, do you have any other questions at this instance?
Well, I guess I might as well speak up. I've been talking to Mr. various times, and I'm still getting a lot of comments from various people about taxation. I mean, as far as taking it away from our county, and I'm trying to explain at this point, there's absolutely no way in the bill that has been presented that will affect any of our taxes as far as county revenues. And then they still go back to say that can still go to the legislature and change the bill to further their needs. And I keep getting a lot of comments anymore about every day I get a sort of comments. And I've been trying to answer it. A lot of people I talk to, I explain it and try to explain what the bill in it presents. And some of them change their mind and say, well, that sounds all right. And others, I get very little change on them. I don't know personally how to change the public opinion of it, or whether I can. I'd like to be able to change the opinion to make everybody satisfied. I hate to vote on something here tonight but you still have a lot of people that are really in deep consideration about the RAG. And one of my questions has always been, we three sit on the desk up here to vote for it, but we have absolutely no control to stop it after we start it. And that's an issue that my people have been thrown out to me. And I'm here trying to communicate with them, communicate with everyone here that to make the situation fit best for everyone. And I have real good thoughts how it can benefit the area of Snowshoe with the RAG. But you also have feelings if some way eventually oversteps its bounds of authority, how it could affect the county also. So that's some of the thoughts that I want to throw out tonight. I don't know whether anybody here can kind of bring some of those thoughts to make me feel a little more comfortable and other people feel a lot more comfortable. So
if I can address the issue of hotel motel tax, and I would start by saying, because someone says something doesn't mean it's true, right? And I did try to provide that information in the letter to the editor that I wrote to respond to Mr. Tate's email. You know, it's not a municipality, and only counties and municipalities can collect hotel motel tax. And then, you know, I've been told that, you know, well, I know you have pen to paper with the amendment written to bring to the legislature, and that's just flat out false. You know, it's just not true. The first thing is, the RAD would be an odd way to go about it. It's a long way around. If we wanted to try to change the legislature, you know, the legislation to get hotel motel tax, let's just try to change the legislation to do that. Why do a RAD in order to do that? And you know, the second piece is, from the very, very beginning, this has been, and I think, you know, those who have sat in the committee, we've had a lot of discussion over this. Must be a do no harm to the county approach. And you know, that was a non-starter type of issue that, you know, this has to be approached in a way that has no negative impact to the county. Okay? And I don't know how to, I don't know that time can resolve that question, because I can only tell you that, you know, the law doesn't provide for it. I believe firmly that if we ever tried to change the law to provide for it, we'd be, you know, punched in the face by the legislature.
And probably, if I may add to that, any sitting present or future county commissioner, I mean, it's conceivable that a county commissioner here would tolerate a reduction of our hotel motel tax for all the fire, medical, hospital services it provides for.
And there are plenty of folks in the room who do wish, you know, they could get more of that back contributed to Snowshoe, and you know, I hold that position on some issues as well, but we absolutely took a, you know, an approach of, that's off the table, don't even consider it, and it remains that way today.
well, I'm kind of going back in history a little bit. Of course, these gentlemen are a lot younger than I am. Gene and I had a good friend that was on the commission when the hotel motel tax was being presented, and he fought dogs and cats over, keeping it from happening, saying, well, it's going to hurt the revenue of the motels and all this, and it's going to cut the people coming back in. And when it was passed, it went on along. It's been good for the county. It's provided revenue that's benefiting all the way down. It's just those times that, it takes a while to get through to people what these issues are about and what they can do for something.
Yeah, let's go ahead and, Mr. Tommy, we'll start. We'll let the public ask questions. Maybe help us figure something out.
Well, I'm just saying that I was a committee member on this organizing committee, and I'd just like to, I'm a supporter of the RAD. You have 75% of the homeowners up there that supported it, and that seems, there was no requirement for them to send anything in to show that support, But I would concur with what Mr. DeBerry is saying. Like, the committee itself took an extremely conservative approach to this whole issue. You gentlemen came up and had discussions with us, and I think it's been very open all the way through. And the homeowners, the majority of that committee was homeowners, and we're the ones that decided what we thought was best for the community. So I'm just hoping you will support it.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Any other questions? Mr. Cranston, got your emails, by the way.
I'm sorry you got so many.
Well,
I just wanted to say, I'm a homeowner at Scotia and I've spoken out at this meeting before. Getting past the idea of the RAD to begin with the way the law was written. For example, the notion that 25% had to vote against as opposed to more than 50% voting for. Getting past that, because at Scotia it's almost impossible to get anybody to respond to anything. So if you ask for a yes vote, you probably would never get it. Now that the law is in place and it's there, then I have basically three things that I've worried about.
okay.
The integrity of the process, the integrity of the data in terms of counting the votes and counting the viable owners, and then the protections for the homeowners that were missing from the RAD, from the initial law, that I felt were missing.
Right.
I don't have any problem with the integrity of the process. I thought it was a good process, and you commented before that it was fairly run and it was as good as any you've seen, and I think it was. I generally don't have any problem with integrity of the data. The emails that we saw from me and Mr. Berry and I exchanged a number. He cleared up a number of concerns that I had.
Yes.
In the way that I was interpreting the data, it was very difficult to dig through. But there were some holes in the data